Today I'm going to show you how to make delicious sauerkraut right at home. Curiously enough, the only ingredients you need for sauerkraut is a head of cabbage and some salt, sea salt or kosher salt. The proportions are as follows. For 5 pounds of cabbage you will need 2 tablespoons of salt. This head of cabbage is about 3 pounds, so I've got here 1.5 tablespoons of salt. Now you can get expensive crocks for fermenting the sauerkraut, but I prefer to go the simple way. So my equipment is as follows. I have a 1-gallon pitcher, which is a Rubbermaid pitcher. For a weight I have a ½ gallon empty pickle jar, which I filled with water. And then you'll need something to press the cabbage down. And you can use a simple saucer that fits comfortable into the pitcher with room to spare. And I've actually fashioned an acrylic plastic disc, which is suitable for the purpose. And it probably works a little better than a saucer. And finally, you'll need to shred the cabbage. You can do it with a knife, of course, but I prefer to do it with a mandolin, such as this. So we start off by cutting the cabbage in half, or if it's bigger, you can cut it in quarters. And find a suitable large container and start shredding the cabbage into the container. You will shred it until you reach the core. Of course, you discard the core. You don't use the core for the sauerkraut. Okay, we're done shredding the cabbage. Okay, it's all done. And now we're left with 2 halves of the core, which we discard. Don't need this anymore. Now we will proceed to place the cabbage in the container. And we'll do it by taking handfuls at a time, placing them in there, pushing them down, and then take a pinch of salt and spreading it around thusly, and continue to do this until the container is filled. Just keep pressing it down and adding salt. Pushing it down and keep salting it. Put this in here. Now the salt will help to pull the water out of the cabbage, and by pressing it down with a weight, it creates an anaerobic action which turns the water into brine and ferments the cabbage. I think we're just about done. You haven't even used all the salt, but that's all right. Okay. Now I'll take the disc, place the disc on top, press it down hard, and the weight follows. And we'll press this down. Now, you can use a plastic bag to cover it. and you should press it down every couple of hours to get the air out and the liquid out of the cabbage. All right. Eventually, all the liquid will come out, and this should continue. You should press it down every day. There will be some scum on top. As it accumulates, just spoon it off. It will take about 2 to 3 weeks before the cabbage is ripe. And you can taste it along the way, see if it's okay. After it's done, just place it in jars, put it in the refrigerator, and good for months or years, if you will. Now don't discard the brine after you've jarred it, because the brine will help you to make the next batch. You can use the brine as a starter at this stage, and it cuts down the time of fermentation vastly. You may get ripe cabbage within a week that way. Okay, very simple way to make your own